what were your primary business goals that you were hoping to achieve with respect to improving your Salesforce management? You talked about technical debt, you talked about kind of chopping the company and selling off that one division, and all of a sudden the way you use Salesforce changed, or the way you needed to change. So tell us a little bit about the goals coming out of that.
Even though we don't have the same scale of need for Salesforce, we do still use Salesforce to manage our customers. Our sales team uses it to manage the opportunities and go through their whole sales process. Our account management users use it to track the customers and make sure that we're touching base with them on a regular basis, and all the various account management type of activities. So we still have a need, and it's still relatively core to what those two teams do. Probably the biggest goal that we have is to take care of some of those challenges that we have that are left over from our past configurations. One of the things that has gotten us into this technical debt pickle that we're in today is we did it at some point in the past when we were a bigger company. We had too many cooks in the kitchen on this thing. We had 3 different main lines of business all trying to get their Salesforce their way, and we ended up with a little bit of a mess inside. And so, one of the things that we're working with your team on today is we are working on trying to unravel some of those things and get it to where it's more efficient for us, so that we don't run into as many issues as we've had in the past. And like you said, our business has changed, and so our business needs in Salesforce have changed, and you guys are helping us get to where we need to be.
Yeah, I know we've talked about with your team a single source of truth and trying to get everything in one place. And very often when we come into a client, what we find is there's a misalignment between their business process, how they operate, and the tool. And so what we're spending a lot of time with you now is not only reconciling the data and creating that single source of truth, but aligning it with the business model, because the business model's changed. And that's not uncommon. I think in your scenario, it may be a little more exaggerated because you sold off a huge portion of the business. But even in a normal, in any business, as it evolves, the business evolves, the tools need to evolve along with it. How critical was it for you to do these in a timely manner? I know you had somebody leaving the company, the business model was changing, obviously to some degree time's of the essence, but there's also some things that you can prioritize. So how did you approach that?
One of the things that really prompted the urgency, I should say, in us finding a solution is we've added a couple of services for our customers, and some of these are requiring much quicker turnaround on the sales process and the contracting process. And with our old technical debt, it was taking a very long time for them to get through that process. In most of our customers' cases, we have the luxury of being able to do contracting over the course of several weeks and do back and forth and configuration and just take our time with it. With these new services, we have folks that are wanting to come in and start utilizing, very quickly. So one of the things you guys have helped us with is streamlining that process so that our contracting doesn't take days now. It can be done in minutes for this particular portion of our business. Definitely, there's a lot of things that we are resizing and flows that we are tweaking to work in today's environment for our business as opposed to what was built, years ago.